Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you a tutorial on how to achieve these effortless beachy waves. This is literally my go-to hairstyle all the time. If it wasn't for heat damage, I would literally wear this every single day. I originally wanted to do this video in my salon, but unfortunately, since we're all at stay-at-home order, my salon isn't open right now, and I didn't want to keep waiting, so I just thought I would just do it here at home. I'm going to be showing you the tools I use as well as the products I use and love to achieve this look. So if you're interested on how I achieve these effortless beachy waves, then just continue watching. Alrighty, so I'm going to show you guys exactly what you need to achieve these effortless beachy waves. And the first thing you're gonna need obviously is a curling iron or a wand, whatever you prefer. The size that I like to use on almost every single client and on myself is a 1 1/4. If you have a really short hair, probably shoulder length and above, I would recommend using a 1 inch. But if your hair is longer than your shoulders, I would really recommend 1 1/4. If you use a 1 inch curling iron, your curls are gonna be a little bit more tighter and not as loose as the beachy waves we're trying to achieve. And if you use a 1 1/2, your curls are gonna be way too big and loose. So 1 1/4 is the perfect size for almost every single person. And the brand that I love is Babyliss, and you can find this at Ulta, and I did buy this one on Amazon. So this is the brand that I would really recommend. Next, you're gonna need a wet brush just to make sure your hair is tangled free before we go in and curl it. You're gonna need some clips to hold up your hair. Now for products, the number one product you're gonna need obviously is a hairspray. And I know some clients say, oh, I don't like hairspray, I don't like the way it feels on my hair. But honestly, if you want these curls to last a really long time, you're gonna need a really good hairspray. And the one that I love, that is my holy grail, is Oribe Strong. This is my favorite hairspray. I've used a ton of hairsprays, a lot. And this is the only hairspray that actually makes my curls last all day. I'm talking about morning and nighttime. Even sometimes the next day, my curls are still going strong. Oribe does have a finer hairspray as well. That does work really, really well, but I do like the strong one just because it makes my hair last a really, really long time. So I would recommend this one. Next, you're gonna need a heat protectant to protect your hair before you curl it. This is a must, especially if you're using heat in general. If you're blow drying, flat iron, curling iron, you need to use heat protectant on your hair to protect it from heat damage and even UV damage from the sun. It's really important. This is actually a new product that just came out from Oribe, and it's called the Invisible Defense Universal Protection Spray, and it's basically a heat protectant. And this heat protectant is really nice because it goes up to 450 degrees. Also, it's gonna protect your hair from the heat as well as the sun, so this is nice. It also has some hydration in it too, so it's not gonna be too dried on your hair. So that's a plus. Another reason why I love this heat protectant is because you can use it wet and dry. Some heat protectants you can only apply on wet hair, and then some you can only apply on dry hair. So this is nice because you can apply it wet and dry. And the next products I'm gonna show you are optional. I like to go in sometimes with a dry texturizing spray, especially if you have clean hair like how I do today. It just gives your hair a little bit more texture and a little bit more hold, especially if your hair is clean, because if you have really clean hair, the curls are not gonna last as long. They're just gonna fall immediately. So adding some texture spray is gonna give it some like dirtiness to your hair, and it's gonna allow your curls to last longer. Also, I have some clients that use a texture spray instead of hairspray, and it works just fine. So that's another option for you. The last thing I have is a pomade, like a wax. This is actually my boyfriend's, but I like to use this sometimes to slick my flyaways, my little broken hairs here in the front. Sometimes they like to show off a little bit. So what I like to do is apply a little bit of like a wax pomade, something that has a very strong hold, and I just like to apply it right here. And to keep those flyaways sticking together so they don't but those are optional. You don't really need those products to achieve these beachy waves, but those are the products I like to use on my hair. Okay, so the first thing I like to do is split my hair in half. And then I like to go ahead and detangle my hair very carefully though, and I like to start from the bottom and work my way up. And this part is important because when you're curling, none of your hair gets caught or gets extra tangly. Especially if you have extensions, it's important to brush your hair a lot. So the first thing we're gonna do before we start curling is obviously apply some heat protectant, and this is the one from Oribe. It's a new product they just came out with, so I'm just gonna apply this all over my hair. After I split my hair in half, I like to work with one side first and then the other side after. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with one half, and I will just take my finger and kind of give myself a little section here, just like that. Nothing too big, but nothing too small. And then whatever is left, I'm going to clip away. So I like to start my sections from the bottom, just because it's easier to work my way up to the top. So I'm just gonna take this first section here. For your section of hair, you want it to have a good amount of hair, but not too much and not too little, if that makes sense. So now taking my section of hair, I'm gonna open up my clamp like this. Or if you have a wand, you're gonna have your wand facing down and you're gonna work like this. But since I have a curling iron, I'm gonna show you how I do it with a curling iron. And I'm gonna start up on the top rather than the bottom, then twisting it up. You're gonna get more of an even curl when you work your way up like this rather than the bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up my clamp and then close it. And I'm going to gently kind of twist the curling iron while still opening up the clamp a little bit and then working my way all the way down. Make sure you keep at least 1 inch or 2 inches off the ends to achieve the effortless beachy waves. So as you can see, I have about about 2 inches off. You could do 1 inch. I like it 2 inches. So this direction of the curl was facing backwards, and now we're gonna take the next section and we're gonna curl it forward, meaning towards our face. Now I'm going to open up my clamp again, apply it on this section, and then I'm gonna twist it. Make sure you keep 1 inch or 2 inches off. Just like that. And sometimes if you curl your ends, you can either take a flat iron to flat iron the ends, or you can just take your curling iron and just kind of flatten them a little bit. So since we did this one forward, we're gonna do this one backwards. All you have to remember is just making sure you're alternating your directions. It doesn't have to be perfect as long as you're curling it opposite directions, because what happens is that if you curl it all the same direction, all the curls are gonna blend together in one big curl. So breaking it up is gonna separate those beachy waves. So since we did this one backwards, we're gonna do this one forward. And every section I'm done curling, I'm gonna go ahead and take my strong hairspray, and this one's from Oribe. And instead of drenching my hair in spray, I just like to do a few spritz, so just like that. And then just let your curls cool, and just let your curls cool down to the very end. Then that's when we'll break it with our fingers or a brush. So now taking my next section, I'm gonna go ahead and split this big section in half. Just like that. You can see my track right here. Just like that. Now we'll just clip this over to get out of the way. So when curling my hair on the front, I like to keep the direction going backwards. That's just the way I like it, and that's just preference and the way I like the curls. You can alternate the directions in the front, but just keep in mind around your hairline, you always want to go away from the face just because it's more flattering. So basically this section and this section, I'm going to be curling away from my face. Also, I don't like to leave the curling iron on the hair for too long because obviously it can cause more heat damage. And sometimes the way I like to tell if the hair is ready to be let go of the iron is by just touching the hair. If it's really hot, then it's time to let go. So sometimes I will just kind of touch it. So this one's good. So that was literally like 3 seconds. And the hairs here in the front, just keep in mind they are finer, so you don't want to leave the iron on for too long. So once this section is done, I'm going to go ahead and lightly spritz my hair with hairspray. That's it. Now doing the last section up on the top, just carefully brushing my hair. And I'm going to take sections here. So if you have shorter layers in your hair, I would suggest curling the top short layer. I would curl the ends, because if you don't curl your ends are going to be sticking out. And if you have shorter layers, it's not going to be a flattering look. So if you do have shorter layers, just kind of curl the ends just so they can blend with everything else. And I'm just going to kind of tousle my hair in the back while I finish this side of my hair. I'm just going to brush again just to make sure there's no tangles. So now taking a section from the back, I'm going to split that just like that. And now I'm just going to go away from the face. Make sure you leave those ends out. Taking the next section, I'm gonna go forwards. And like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, like you have to go backwards, forwards, backward, forwards. Just make sure you're breaking up the curls. And if you are a beginner with curling your hair, it is gonna take some practice to get the hang of it. So don't get discouraged when you can't get it right the first time. You just have to keep practicing. And also like the way you're holding the tools and all that. So it just takes time. So don't get frustrated. So now I'm gonna apply some hairspray very lightly. Just like that. Now I'm just going to toss it in the back. And now I'm just going to finish this half, so I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. So now that we're done curling the entire hair, I just like to push it forward and apply one last coat of hairspray, but very lightly. Don't get it in your eyes or your mouth. So since the curls are cooled down a little bit, we're gonna go ahead and break it up. You can use your fingers to break up the curls. And this is what I do on most of my clients. So just using your fingers. And that's why it's very important to detangle your hair before you curl, just to make this process easier and prevent it from breakage. So just like that. Let me back up a little bit so you can see it better. And this is what it looks like with just my fingers. Me personally, I like to take a brush, a wet brush, and I like to brush out my curls even more just because I want them a lot more looser and effortless. And to achieve a little bit of texture right above here, since I just washed my hair, it is a little bit more flat up here. And naturally my hair is very fine. So what I like to do, which I learned this trick from my coworker, shout out to Kevin. All you do is you just take your brush and you just kind of like want to go in this motion just like that, just to add some texture, as you can see. And we're just gonna do the same thing on the other side. Yeah, he did this to me and I was like, wow. How did I not know about that? So we're just gonna do the same here. I know it looks crazy, but I'm gonna use my fingers, just like that. I do like to add a little bit of texture spray, just to give my hair a little bit of dirtiness to it, and to make my curls last a little bit longer. And the brand that I like is Oribe, the texture spray, and also the IGK Texture spray, which is the Beachy waves. These two are my favorite. This one is though a lot better. So today I'm just gonna use my favorite, which is the Oribe Texture Spray. I'm just gonna apply a little bit on my hair. Not too much, just a little bit. As you can see, the way it kind of made it a little bit more messier, a little bit more tousled, and added a little bit more texture than it just being kind of plain. The last thing I'm gonna do is apply a little bit of pomade, and this is actually my boyfriend's, but this brand is from Sebastian, and it's called the Craft Clay, and I literally just like to add a tiny bit, rub it into my fingers, and just secure these flyaways, aka breakage. And whatever's left on my fingers, I just like to apply it on the ends. And there you have it, Beachy waves. So that completes the tutorial on how to achieve effortless beachy waves at home. This video was so much fun to do. This is literally my favorite hairstyle. If it wasn't for heat damage, I would literally have my hair like this every single day. It just gives my hair so much more life and volume. Hopefully this video was very informative, and hopefully you can try out how to do these effortless beachy waves at home without a hairstylist. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe during this very tough time. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe to your girl to help her out. See you next time. Bye.